How does it feel to have white skin, live in sub-Saharan Africa, and fear people who will pay more than $75,000 to chop off your body parts? Caucasians have conquered and exploited the length and breadth of Africa for thousands of years. But this is about albinos, native Africans afflicted by the rare skin disorder that robs people of their pigmentation. For every 1,000 children born in sub-Saharan Africa, where cousins often marry, one is an albino. But there is stigma, superstition, and witch doctors who believe that the limbs of albinos contain magical powers and urge their patients to acquire them. Kenya's Albinism Society decided that enough is enough. To put an end to this evil belief, they chose a beauty contest, Mr. and Miss Albino. And the overjoyed contestants had plenty to say.
I love dancing, and I'm a social person. Sometimes I used even to forget that I look different. I've been wanting to do this thing for long.
For many rural African families with sparse means in education, a genetic defect in producing melanin is seen as a curse. And it's a belief that has sustained well into modern times, despite the prevalence of stringent laws and even the death penalty to prevent crime. One albino was reportedly hunted down in Kenya in 2008, while 2009 saw an escalation of albino killings in neighboring Tanzania. The horrific trend culminated in the dismembering of a 14-year-old Tanzanian boy in 2015. More than 200 witch doctors were arrested in the same year. Extreme poverty, too, has sometimes motivated body snatching, that of albino graves. The increase in crime against albinos has attracted widespread attention. Both regional and global groups are engaging with the problem and making efforts to remove the stigma that prevails in other countries further south, like Swaziland and Malawi, too. Not every contestant walked away with a prize or a crown, of course, but the mood at the contest was upbeat and positive.
Since I've gone with first runners-up, I feel nice. It's very exciting, getting to know I can count on so many people.
The event offered candidates an opportunity of another kind too. The young men and women strutted the ramp, dressed not only in fashionable clothes, but also in professional uniforms.
Now, when you're talking about albinism and you're talking about clean leprosy, when you go into Genesis 36, it gives you an understanding how this thing works, because Jacob and Esau came out in two different complexions, because they didn't even name the complexion of Jacob, but they did name the complexion of Esau. Genesis 25 and 25, it said Esau came out red, and then they further named him Edom, which meant red. So when you come and bring that into reality, into the present modern day, you only have one other way that you can come out of the womb is with albinism, or so vitiligo, or whatever they call it, a skin disorder, and you can see the blood through the skin because it's no pigment. That's the only other way you can come out of the womb. So when people talk about Esau, they say, well, he married Canaanite women. Now when you go in Genesis 36, it says Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan. Now when you look at the stage here, this is a stage full of Canaanite women, but they are red like Esau. See, and this is not a phenomenon. Back when Edom or Esau was taking his wives, in Canaan they had albino women. They had albino women that Esau could have went and acquired them. He could have wanted a woman who have something in common with him, who was like him. not a dark Canaanite woman that's gonna be looking at him strange and saying, "Oh, you look at you ain't got no pigment," you know. Then if they got a superstition that's saying that they was cursed, that's further gonna say, "Oh, we don't want to be with you because you cursed." See, the dark women ain't gonna want to get with Esau because he cursed. They gonna beg their daddy not to go along with the marriage because they already know it's a curse. See, so these people gonna talk about, oh, he married Canaanite women, so he couldn't have stayed red. The children came out dark and all this kind of stuff. No, the children didn't come out dark. When you go to verse 3, it says he married a Ishmaelite daughter, meaning Abraham's first child's children. So he was marrying different nations outside of the Shemites, and he was not dealing with these regular women with pigment in their skin, because this superstition been going on for centuries. You see, but these people want to say, oh, he was married, he came from two dark-skinned people, and then he became red or albino, and then he went to sleeping with other women. See, you ain't got with no dark-skinned woman, man. These women was not just not having a say-so in their marriage. They did have a say-so, and their fathers wouldn't have just threw them out there to an albino. Now, Esau wasn't no broke person, because when you go down to verse 7, it say, for their riches were more than that they might dwell together. So he had to separate from Jacob because they was getting so rich. Their possessions was becoming so great because of the blessing that Abraham had, and the blessing that Abraham passed down to Isaac. And Isaac didn't pass it down to them, but it's an automatic inheritance, because he told Abraham his seed would prosper, that he was going to use his seed to do his work. And so this is what they don't want you to understand, and it's the only the Edomites is doing this because, let's go to Jeremiah. I'm gonna keep bringing Jeremiah out, because that's the main situation we dealing with. Jeremiah chapter 49. We're going to do 49 verse 7. It say, concerning Edom, thus says the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman. Teman is another son of Esau. So they just use these other names of the children of Esau to identify Edom. Say, is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? See, their wisdom is going to vanish. Their counsel is going to mean nothing. Because verse 10, he say, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. See, that's why they call themselves white, because they trying to hide. See, that's a false identity. Like when you watch Jason Bourne or The Fugitive, they instantly try to give themselves another name. Jason Bourne had like 7 passports with different names because he was a fugitive trying to hide. So that's why these dragons want to call themselves white, because they know they trying to hide. But the Lord say, What happened? That's why he did it in a question form. Is there no more? Is wisdom no more in teeming? Say, where's your wisdom? Because you was wise. You were so wise you can hide your identity, and nobody could find you. Nobody didn't know who you was. They were just calling you the white man, a Caucasian, European, calling you by the landmass, Romans, Greeks. See, they had false identity, and nobody could identify them. But see, in Deuteronomy 29 and 29, they was going to be identified by the children of Israel, because everything is revealed to the children of Israel. Now, when you go to, let's go to Thessalonians, because it put a time on when these dragons was going to be revealed. Now, for 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, in verse 2, gives you the context. It say, as that day of Christ is at hand. So the day of Christ, or Mashiach, Yahushua, in the Hebrew, it says, talking about the day of Christ, verse 3, let no man deceive you by any means. Because see, that's what these dragons like to do. That's why they call themselves white men. It say, for that day shall not come. Okay, the day of Christ ain't going to come except what? Except the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. I'm going to jump down to verse 8. And then shall that wicked, so not he the man of sin, he the son of destruction, and he is the wicked, be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. See, the Lord going to give the spirit to the Israelites to reveal him, to expose him before the end of the world. That's when we know we at the end, because we clearly see who these people are. They can't hide themselves no more. They can't hide in the shadows. And so they trying to use that little breakdown of he slept with African, Canaanite, black women, and his children became dark. No, 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 no. These Africans got albinos in their nation, and they outcast them, and they all stick together. Sometimes they all live together. And so when Esau going to find him a woman, he can easily go find him a Hamite that has albinism, who look like him, that has something in common with him. That's common sense. Get somebody that has something in common with you. That's why the nation of Israel married within their nation, because they had that in common. And most nations marry within their nation with people that look like them and have something in common. So that's what Esau did. He didn't run around and go try to get with these dark women. Even some of his children might have did it, but it's just going to make lighter children at the end of the day. When a so-called white man sleep with a black woman, the child come out red, is light, the lightest thing you ever seen. So he didn't run around and get with these chocolate dark women. That's just something that the Edomites are trying to use to further hide themselves. But I'm going to leave it there. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.